So welcome everyone again to this summer projects presentation. For all the proposals we have received these days, it was a lot of great ideas I want to share to you. So let's keep moving. First of all, remember we are organizing the MonteVIDEO Tech Summer Camp this year again. The idea of the summer camp is to create meaningful connections, to promote the collaborative culture, of course, to give back to the community by the summer projects that we are going to talk today, and of course, discover Uruguay, our lovely country. And this year, the in-person week of the summer camp will be the last week of January. So if you want to come, you know when. And as very great news, we have our first camper 100% confirmed. That is Steve from Max. So yeah, we're super happy that he will be, correct me, Mika, if I'm not wrong, he's coming like for a month. So yeah, with all the family also.
He is.
So that's beautiful. He's going to share with us all the offices and stuff, and we're going to have a really good time. Yeah, for people. Awesome. And you know, if you want to know more about the summer camp and the in-person week, please contact Micaela and Agus. Here, you can write them on our webpage or LinkedIn, Video Dev, or whatever you want. So remember that. And continuing with this, the summer projects again, the idea is to give back to the community and promote the collaborative culture by creating value while learning and sharing knowledge. That's one of the main goals of the projects. So, milestones. Today, the idea is to show to you all the proposals. And after we finish the presentation, the voting period will start. So you have 1 week to choose which projects you like and you would like to build and to contribute. Then in the results, we are going to share with you the results on DMAX, probably, I hope, in a small lightning talk. And in early November, depends, of course, of the technical sponsor for the project, we will start and do the kickoff for the project itself. Keep in mind that the voting process, after this, you will get a link with us and also the summaries for the proposals, and it will be these questions. First, what do you think adds more value to the community? Then what's the second project you think adds more value to the community? Also, we want to know what projects are you willing to work on as a developer or helping us to define the scope. And what project do you think can be done in 1 month and in 3 months? That's the question we need to understand what we should work on. And about the proposals, keep in mind this. Some of the proposals are ideas and other are well-defined projects, and that's okay. Working in the scope also it's part of the activity of the summer camp, so that's perfect. And again, you can participate as developer or helping us to define the scope and the milestones to achieve what the project, what we have to build. So keep in mind this while you listen to all the proposals, and also to know this while voting for the proposals. And this year, as I mentioned, we received 12 proposals that reflects 11 projects because yes, we have one proposal that was also like the same for both. So we have a project that will have 2 sponsors, and that's great. So before starting, thank you to all the people who has submitted projects. We love David, Yuri, Casey, Wendell, Mike, Steve, Will, Ian, and Dimitri. Thank you, everyone, for proposing your ideas, taking your time to write it down. That's, I don't know, I'm very grateful for that. And I hope that we are going to build your projects. I would like to build everything, of course, but time is also complicated sometimes. So here we go. Oh, yeah. Let's enumerate just the projects, and then we're going to go detail by detail. So the projects are CMCD-V2 adoption acceleration. Then we're going to talk about the VAST to server guided ad insertion conversion service. Then to implement content steering in ExoPlayer. After that, a CMAF player built with the common media library, the SVTA common media library. And another project, how to collect logs and CMCD-like system for media over quick. Also a media over quick player implementation. Slide. Here it is. Another project is to help in the SVTA low latency lab to add metrics and charts to help them to build better recommendations, guidelines for minimizing latency, build video and audio player themes for every player. That's lovely. Internationalization for MediaChrom, and last, an automated test suite for testing video players in different app development frameworks. Yeah, that's a huge pain. So let's go one by one. First one, CMCD-V2 adoption acceleration. Quick recap. So if you remind CMCD, it's a defined set of structured key value pairs that the player sends to the CDN that communicates media-related information. Right now, and in the industry, it's implemented in almost every player. So it's a great way to get data to understand the current state of the players. And in CMCD-V2, we are adding 2 new modes. The mode that is called request mode sends CMCD information in the request is the CMCD version 1. Now in CMCD version 2, 2 new modes are added. That is the response mode to send the CMCD information to a third-party server, like an analytics server, and also to send and to send information after you receive the response of the CDN, so you have more information also. And the third mode is the state interval mode. That is to send to a third-party server every time the player changes the state, for example, from playing to buffering or seeking. And also it's possible to configure players to send CMCD information in a loop, like, okay, every 30 seconds, I want to send information to my server. Also, CMCD-V2 adds UKeys, like time to first byte and last byte, because now you can send information after you receive the response. Buffer starvation duration, player state, live latency, live stream latency, top aggregate bitrate, the CDN response code, HTTP response code, and a CDN identifier, and more keys, of course. So Willow's proposals is to help the implementation of this new release of the standard. The goals are to accelerate the development of CMCD-V2 in JavaScript-based media players, and enable early experimentation with the response and state interval modes for media analytics and consensus resember and player QoE metrics. Also, he proposed to implement this first doing a contribution to the common media library that allows CMCD-V2 to be implemented in different players. So that's project number 1. Let's continue with this one. VAST to server-guided ad insertion conversion service. First, just a reminder, VAST is an XML standard for signaling video ads. So VAST is mostly a common interface by many ad servers, has supports also for tracking events like impressions and quartile tracking, to understand if people are watching your ads, and is widely used for server-side ad insertion and client-side ad insertion. Also, we have to remember that now we have HLS interstitials that make it easy to deliver features like bumpers and mid-roll ads. It's signaled in the M3 U8 file, and you can also, as the example over here, this is the interstitial signaling, and as a signaling, we can send a list of multiple ads that we want the player to insert. For example, here, all the orange segments are going to be replaced by the interstitial information. And this is the basis of server-guided ad insertion in HLS. So what David has soon told us is, hey, let's learn server-guided ad insertion together by creating an open-source vast file converter to HLS interstitials in the form of an asset list. The power of these projects to the industry is that it will enable rapid adoption of server-guided ad insertion while using the core tech available in the industry: native AOS, HLS.js, ExoPlayer, VAST. We have the technology over there, so this piece is missing. No longer need to pay for expensive server-side insertion providers because we can use these tools. And again, this is just the beginning, because at next stage, we can expand this project using the server-guided ad insertion tracking specification that the working group of advertising working group in SVTA is working, also led by Zachary Cava, who is one of the also the great voices in server-guided ad insertion. So I think this is also a great project that can bring a lot of value to the community. Thank you, David. I don't know if you want to add something. We have you here.
No, I think you touched on it really well. It's a cool service that could really make it very easy for anyone to implement ads. Server guide ads are now supported in HLS.js, ExoPlayer, and what am I missing? Oh, in iOS. And by just doing that simple conversion, it opens up some really powerful capabilities, but there'll be complexity underneath it, and some cool stuff we'll be able to work through together to figure that out, as well as expanding that to Dash as well in the future.
Thank you, David. So let's continue. Number 3, implement what happened?
I think Dan raised his hand at some point.
Oh, Dan, do you have a question?
David covered it. Thank you so much. I lowered it.
Thank you, Dan. 3rd, implement content steering in ExoPlayer. So quick recap, what is content steering? It's a standard to tell the player which CDN to use. A player queries to a content steering server over here, and you can build any logic you want, like from analytics engine, business logic, because of pricing of CDN or byte egress or whatever. And you can tell the players which CDN to use and swap CDNs in the middle of a session. And right now, this spec is also available in HLS and Dash. Also, we have to understand that ExoPlayer is one of the most used players in Android, because it's also like maintained from the Android people. And the thing is that bring to us is that, yep, the implementation of this standard is missing in ExoPlayer and still open. So Yuri bring us this project saying, hey, content steering ExoPlayer is the missing piece for the content steering ecosystem. By building the content steering, this module, we will unlock the true power of the standard, as all the main platform will have at least one open source implementation. And as the cherry on the top, we can send CMCD information to the steering server and demonstrate how we can make better decisions on a CMCD using the CMCD information. I don't know if Yuri is over here. He was coming. No, he's not here. I don't see him. But again, I think this is a great project also that can bring a lot of value for people and for all the platforms to enable content steering. So the next one, a CMAF player built with the Common Media Library. If you know, the Common Media Library is a project also led by Casey here. The main goal is to have one, as you see here, like Dash.js, HLS.js, ExoPlayer. For example, in this image, you can see feature requests about the same, like, hey, implement Common Media Client Data, CMCD. So what Casey saw is the opportunity to create a Common Media Library to build once the features we need in the players, and then all players can pick let's say, pick functions and stuff from the library to get faster implementations and also better support for those features in different players, because we have only one place to fix bugs. So the first goal is to continue creating modules in the Common library, as we already did in the Summer Camp 2024 this year, and it was great. And this year, we would like to focus on things like DRM utils and key system enums, ABR heuristics and measurements, sorry for the English in that, IMSCGS and text rendering, the boxers conversion and TS utils. And here, Ian also wants to contribute and lead this part about implement closed caption 708 support that, as we understand, or my understanding and what Ian told us, is there is almost no implementation over there. So we have to fill that gap. And also the working group, the QoE working group of SVTA right now is working in a project to standardize error codes in different players. And that's a great thing to add to the Common Media library. So every player can implement the same error codes, and we can have better analytics experience using the Common Media library and understanding the same errors from different players. And again, and as a big ambitious goal, the idea is, the ultimate goal is filling all the gaps we need to create a proof of concept of a very light CMAF only web video player using the Common Media player. I don't know, Casey, if I did it right, please help me.
No, I think that's a great overview. It is very ambitious, and so, in all honesty, just getting individual pieces in is very helpful. On top of which, the work that was done last year with the ID3 and the 608, like that's already made its way into a bunch of open source players. So, if we don't make it the whole goal, I think we're making the video ecosystem a better place by consolidating some of these common features.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if I may add, I think it's our goal here at Paramount to build a lightweight CMAF player for Paramount specific content and features, and specifically to build that off CML module. So we just had our CML road mapping, KCCML road mapping call, and this was the list that we came up as items that would get us much closer to that, if not all the way there. We don't plan on putting complex parts of iteration and scheduling and chunk download and fetch and all that stuff into Common Media Library right now. That's the part we'll build locally or with you guys or open source. We haven't figured that out, but that's the goal. So these pieces and the DRM and ABR things, the ABR sounds really fun. The DRM is a lot of just taking utils and enums and moving them into Common Media Library, porting, some of that ISO boxer stuff's porting. IMSCJS and getting text solved is a huge one, and ABR heuristics have to be written, and there's a lot of complexities in encoding now that we're starting to look at per scene that change ABR. None of the ABR heuristics in any of the libraries work with per scene. You have to map things out and deal with variability. So there's a lot of fun stuff there. We weren't proposing though to build the whole CMAF player, but that's awesome too. Prototype of one, because you can write a CMAF player since you already have the parsers and stuff in like 100 lines of code to get it on screen.
Yeah, I think it's great we know we are maybe far from that, but the idea to have that guide, it's great. I don't know, Ian, also if you want to add something regarding the 708 implementation.
Yeah, we've recently for a client, we're looking to do 708 implementation in the Wowzer streaming engine, and we had difficulty finding players that actually really supported it. I think we found one out there. I think maybe Shocker was about the only one that really had support for that, and having it in the CML would mean we would get a lot of players support right away. So I thought that would be interesting.
And since I wrote this list, I'm just going to add something to that too to make it really clear. Two things that came out of this is we found content that even I think Shaka doesn't pick up. It's not carried in a 608 wrapper. It's pure 708 itself, and Shaka wasn't even finding it. There was some PR made by someone at Pluto, I think, to fix that. but it's really more about the styles, and that's what I think you're talking about, Ian, is implementing the styles to the CTA wave spec where they have vectors and guidance on the on-screen placement that we could use to compare, and building out maybe a test tool that runs our streams and does the A/B comparison of the actual, content, creative intended positioning, if you will.
Exactly. Thank you.
Cool. That's the big one that we want to solve.
Great, thank you. So let's continue. Now, just a quick overview about Meetup Over Quick, because the two projects that will follow are about Meetup Over Quick. So if anyone is the first time maybe listening to Meetup Over Quick or whatever, just a quick recap about Meetup Over Quick. I will make a fun about that all night. And yeah, let's talk about Meetup Over Quick. So thanks, Mike, for the slides. I'm using Mike's slides from VMAX and also some slides from Wendell from SVTA meeting in Belgium this last month. So a quick recap about Meetup Over Quick. First, what is Quick? Quick is a new transport protocol that the EATF has introduced in 2021. Some highlights about this new transport protocol is that it has stream multiplexing with independent logical streams. So we have no connection wide head of line blocking as we have with TCP. It's reliable order delivered with streams. It's an order delivered between streams. It is by native is encrypted, and it runs over UDP. So this is a very good example to understand visually, like HTTP, how it's TCP, how it's used, how we use TCP in HTTP, and using Quick, the UDP connection and the different streams we can send. And so we have no head of line of blocking, because if it's just one packet, we have different streams. And in this overview, also the EATF is working in creating a standard to send media over Quick, because Quick is just the transport, and this is how to send media over Quick. And there are some drafts over there called Media over Quick with transport, and another one. And the idea of these people are trying to define how to map different type of media to the media to the Media over Quick object model. So how to send those a frame, for example, how to get the benefits of all the UDP stuff and the streams, the way Quick works. And also this working group is defining a manifest-like stuff. So we are not going, it's not like the M308 or the MPD for Dash. They are defining something new that is called a catalog that signalize the tracks and stuff. From well done, this also like very visual. I like this. It's like, yep, we are going to have publishers that can send over video using Media over Quick or web transport to a relay, and the relay can send to the different devices again. And so in the Quick session, we can send one directional streams to send the video from the relay to the device. And also we can set bidirectional control streams, for example, to send some priority stuff, messages, or other things like that. So why Media Quick it's a good idea? Well, the opportunity is now because it's a new transport protocol, and that doesn't happen like every year. We are still using TCP, HTTP 1.1 and 2 that are very old. So it's a very good opportunity to learn. Also because the design is very flexible for delays and for latency, and is cacheable, and that's great because other protocols that you may think for real-time applications could be like WebRTC. WebRTC is difficult, it's not cacheable, and well, the idea is that Media over Quick will be much easier to do that because of cost. It's going to be cost-effective and scalable. So the goal of Media over Quick is to be both, like to be scalable and also to enable interactivity. Because right now we know if we want to scale, we use HLS and Dash. But if we want real-time communication for like this, a video conference, we use WebRTC. So MediaWorkWeek comes here like to fill the gap between those use cases. Also, in the presentation by Mike English in DMAX, he presented this project. It's called, you can go to quick.video. It's an open source project built in Rust to try MediaWorkWeek. You can try it in your browser to publishing a video and watching it. And also it's open source, you can download, and if you have Docker, you can set up all the environment in your computer and run the examples in your local machine. It implements the relay, the transport, also like an API, the web page, everything you need, it's over there, so it's great. You don't need to know anything about MediaWorkWeek, and you can run it and try it by yourself. And here it's me, like publishing a video over here, and in the right, I'm just watching myself again. And over here, this is the example of a catalog that it's telling the player which tracks are published to watch. So also, I'm new in MediaWorkWeek, so it's something we can learn together. So let's go with the next project, that it's logs and CMCD-like system for MediaWorkWeek. Wendell told us that MediaWorkWeek is very exciting and we can learn it while we create value to the community. The main MediaWorkWeek is primarily built on top of Quick. And also there is another ETF group that is discussing logs and how to get logs in in Quick, that it's called QLog. This standard is expected to report events related to the transport level. That information, such a transport level log, is usually not collected in traditional HTTP ABR systems. Finally, some researchers in the MediaWorkWeek working group have started also drafting a new protocol for logs sharing in MediaWorkWeek. The idea is that each publisher can use this bidirectional stream, as we talk, and publish a special track from the player to the relay, sending the logs of usage and the logs from the player. So we can try to create something with those ideas. And also it's possible to send some kind of CMCD data using that approach. So he sees like 4 steps for this project. The first one is to add a login mechanism in the relay code of the project I showed you, that it's open source and you can try it by yourself, that is already running. So which relay can generate an output, one log per deliver group through MediaWorkWeek. It requires Rust for login. Maybe people they say, yeah, I want to learn Rust, and this is a good way to do it. And save that in a compact format in the log, as for example, like Apache or Nginx saves logs, in just the access log or error log. Then we can add some module as FileBit to pick those logs and start showing some metrics and stuff. Then we can also improve the logging code to add some of these new QLog information and see how we can send information from the player. And at the end, we can try to figure out or discuss how to implement or build a proof of concept of a CMCD-like system. So the player sends all the information and we collect all the information from the relay. Also, like as Wendell says, the time is now. Also, this contribution will help to define how to log on MediaWorkWeek, because it will be like a first approach to this. I think it's very exciting. And we have a lot to learn kind of project that it's great. Also, we have another challenge, that it's to build a MediaWorkWeek web player. Because again, MediaWorkWeek offers it has a lot of great stuff to do, but again, we need to implement players to take the advantage of all these features that comes with Quick and MediaWorkWeek. So to get an idea, for example, the basic ABR ladder and how to select the ladder and stuff like that has to be rebuilt thinking in this environment. So this project could be very difficult if you think, hey, why? Because we have to build everything from scratch. But also you can think about this as experimentation project that also brings value to the people who is creating the standard right now at the ETF, to bring feedback about, hey, this is difficult to implement, or we have to fill those gaps. And I think that's also like a big part of the project, to bring insights from early experimentation. So let's continue with the SVTA Low Latency Lab metrics and charts. If you don't know, the SVTA Low Latency group makes a lot of technical publications. Here there are two about a technical publication about how to measure latency in different ways, taking account, for example, from glass to glass, and where to get the clock, if you want to use tags in the manifest, or if you want to add some information inside the stream itself, and things like that. So it's a great publication. I encourage you to read it. And also they have like best practices for reducing live latency, and they build this kind of these publications using a lab they have in Google Cloud. Oh, I forgot this one. This is the end-to-end glass latency they explain in the technical publication. So saying, okay, we have points, to get the time from the camera to the encoder to the transcoder. Every point over there, every T is a point where we can measure latency to capture the overall end-to-end glass-to-glass latency, and different ways to get it. And again, they have a lab using SGAI videos, using CineMedia transcoders, using ExoPlayer, DataZoom, Grafana, Elasticsearch, Tag, also to capture all the metrics. And they're running this in Google Cloud, and they run a lot of experiments and things to create those recommendations. And I think it's a great, again, it's a great group that brings a lot of value to everyone here in the community. So the idea is to help them to build a better lab. So the first goal is to construct an overall T1 to T6 latency metric. You remember, this is like T1 is over here for encoder, and T6 is over here, the client screen. That latency metric that requires to join metrics and stuff. So we need to help them to build those metrics from the data they have, and also build the scripts and everything to make that automate, The goal too is to help them to build Grafana charts and things to help to run different tests. And the goal 3 is up to us. We have to decide, after we learn their lab and how they execute stuff and all the infrastructure they have over there, how we can continue helping them to create recommendations. For example, adding more players, or adding other encoders. For example, I know, maybe ASIC encoders or encoders, I don't know, whatever. And any other kind of things that we made up in the discussions with the working group for the summer camp. So I think this is great, because also they're bringing a lot of value to the community by creating those technical recommendations that are there also. So continue also with this in the line of the low latency lab. Also, there's a project to build guidelines for minimizing encoder latency. So the main goal is to develop these guidelines using NVIDIA GPUs transcoding, Intel QuickSync technology, and CPU-based technology. So the idea is to investigate the impact. Maybe this could be the goal number 3 of the other project. So investigate different parameters, how in different encoders and stuff can affect the latency of the encoder itself. So it's T1 or T2 in the previous slide. And identify optimal transcoding configurations and put them, a document that we can share with all the whole community. So the idea is to, again, to deliver tools and script to help others to bring also like other testing. They can run, people who can run again this test again, or continue investigating how to reduce the latency as possible in the benefit of all the end users worldwide, and stop listen to the neighbor saying, "Hey, goal from Uruguay." That's the worst experience ever. And now to continue, I want to make a special. Yeah, we have something very special this year. I don't know if you know this guy. This is Luis Suarez. Is I think I told by myself the best soccer player Uruguay has ever created. He's now playing in Miami. How it's called the team? Miami.
Inter Miami.
Inter Miami, yes, he's playing the Inter Miami. And you know, in soccer, when you strike 3 goals, we call that a hat trick, and you can keep the ball. And that's a great thing. And I have to do a special mention for this because, yes, Hef has submitted 3 projects. So, yeah, a big clap, shout out for, for Hef. He has submitted 3 projects, and those are the 3 projects right now we're going to talk. So again, 3 projects, and coming to Uruguay to the summer camp with all your family. Yes, you will keep the ball with you, man. So let's see what Heath has in mind. Heath, are you here, right? I think I'm
here.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you for the intro. That was amazing.
Yeah, you can keep the ball, man. So first, and Steve, please help me also with this. The first one is to build video and audio player themes for every player. If you know, for introduction to this project, you may know Media Chrome, that is a fully customizable media player controls using web components. If you don't know what it's web components, it's like if you have ever heard about React or Angular, that you create components and then you create the pages or whatever. It's like, in the web, there are native stuff like called web components that are like the things you create using React. So this project, as you see here, oh, maybe it's too tiny, you can create like your special tags, like HTML tags that creates the whole component, like a button, like a play button or the progress bar and everything like that. So MediaChrome.org is the web page. You can check it out. Steve, I think you're the creator of this and main maintainer, so thank you for this. Look, all the stars you have. This is great. And also, you may remind, I think you can remind this other project also from Steve, that it's player style. This is a web page where you can find different styles for players. And it's very beautiful, and especially the Winamp, because we are listening to all the news about Winamp in GitHub and all the crazy stuff regarding the license. That is very fun, and we love Winamp, of course. And yeah, so Steve, please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, appreciate you sitting through my hat trick of submissions here. Yeah, the MediaChrome is obviously on the complete other end of the spectrum of something like Common Media Library. It's fully on the UI side of things. In retrospect, maybe we should have named it Common Media UI Library or something like that. But it is like a handful of us have been working on it for a lot of years now, and it's it is standardizing individual UI components for all the different players, and obviously we're excited for any progress that's made on with MediaChrome components in general, but we specifically set out to build this website called player.style to kind of show off everything that can be done with these UI components, because I think that's hard to really understand without actually seeing a lot of these different implementations. So we've been like going through exercises of rebuilding the YouTube player, and like even down to the animations of the UI and things like that. And so yeah, with this project, just excited for anybody to take a stab at building their own themes using these components. So
yeah, this is great. And I think this is a different project of what we are used to, and that's great because we can, as you said, unlock creativity. And it's also like we have a lot of people here in Qualabs that loves to create UI and stuff. So I think those guys are going to say, hey, this is my project. And I know they're going to want to build this. Thank you, Steve. Then, internationalization for MediaChrome. Again, we talk about MediaChrome. And the thing that it's missing on MediaChrom is that right now it doesn't support IN. How do you spell this in English? I-89?
I18N. Yeah. I
Yes,
think I got the
I-89.
number right. Tell me if I got
Yeah.
the number wrong.
Yes. So yeah, we can help also this project to bring the project, as you called it, like to the professional level, to bring all the translations. And once we complete this, like to understand the power of adding this kind of stuff is almost automatically after some upgrade, pages like TED.com will be using this code. And again, will be players around the world, people around the world, we have the players in their own language. And so I think that's great. And at the end, we have the automated test suite for testing video players in different app development frameworks. So again, the idea is the JavaScript ecosystem has exploded in complexity. Testing a new video player version release is not just about testing multiple browsers anymore. Browsers, now you have also to test different versions of React, of Next.js, also with different versions of the player. So it's exponential, it's getting crazy. And as Steve says, we have Vue, Sleeve, and Webpack, and of course, Flatpak, it doesn't exist, but it doesn't matter. It will exist because someone is going to create this new framework because frameworks are everywhere. So yeah, the idea is to create a framework, test framework that allow us to plug like our player and test the player in that environment and how it will deploy across all the major web applications. So I think this is very, very, very useful also because everyone suffers from bugs in different frameworks, players, and it's a mess. And at the end, we need that for our customers to improve the quality of experience across every device. So thank you, everyone who has put their time to write down some proposals. I'm grateful with you guys. Like I can explain this is amazing, to have all these amazing ideas and again to bring power to the people who wants to create stuff and learn together, create something valuable. It's I love this. And so now the voting period is open. And as I mentioned, let me just copy the link because I don't want you to pick your phone. I just can't do this for you. And here it is. That's the link for the voting. So the idea is this. The vote will be like from today up to October 10. That's the period to vote. You can share the link with whoever. You can post it on LinkedIn. You can say, hey, vote for my project. Of course, you can do it. Then in DMAX, because Steve will give us a lightning talk for sure, we will announce the project that we are going to build here. And early November, depends, of course, in the technical sponsor, we will do the kickoff of the projects because the idea is to finish the in-person week of the summer camp. We are going to do the demo of the projects and everything we have built. This is important also. If you want to read again all the presentations, all the projects, and because it's a lot of information and you want to do just a tiny research by yourself or whatever, in the vote link, you will have 3 things. This recording that we are going to upload it. It will be available for you to watch again if you want, or if you want to share it. Also, there is a link for these slides. And also there is a document if you prefer to read with the description of all the proposals. So you can read, there are links and you can click and go and then make your vote. And again, thank you everyone for being here. See you at DMAX. We will be at DMAX with JP and also with Koti from our team. And we will announce the results on DMAX. So thank you, and question, please. The link again.
It's gonna be difficult to vote for 2 only. It's gonna be
That's
tough.
life, man.
Gotta choose.
Yeah, I think the bar is going very up. each.
Yeah, it's very high.
And for sure, next year, if we have like 20 proposals, we will have to change the
Yeah.
process. And in fact, in the questions, I put like, hey, how we can improve this process. So if you have also some time, it would be great.
I think the way to improve it is to add more volunteers as well too.
Oh, yeah.
Probably. I like that the DMAX way to filter talks and things like that, so we can do things like that.
We now have, you can come up with 20 projects. Who's gonna be at DMAX in a few days? We have Dan, like maybe we can do these.
Ooh,
The
your
digital
hand.
version of it. Dan's have
Oh wow,
a
cool.
lot of people coming in. Oh man. Should we bring like a mates for you guys?
I got my
Yes.
mate gourd at DMAX last year.
Oh
It's
yeah.
for free. You have to say yes.
Hey, I have my MonteVIDEO summer camp cup.
Oh nah. Spoiler. Excellent. Thank you all very much. And well, see everyone in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. See you there.